ਚੰਡੀਗੜ੍ਹ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ ਕਲੱਬ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ ਖੁਸ਼ਵੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਲਿਟ ਫੈਸਟ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ ਕਾਨਫਰੰਸ ਖੁਸ਼ਵੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਬੇਟੇ ਰਾਹੁਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ। ਆਓ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਖੁਸ਼ਵੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਬੇਟੇ ਰਾਹੁਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਤੇ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਖੁਸ਼ਵੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਲਿਟ ਫੈਸਟੀਵਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਕਸੌਲੀ 'ਚ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ 18, 19, 20 3 ਦਿਨ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ ਖੁਸ਼ਵੰਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੇ ਬੇਟੇ ਰਾਹੁਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ। ਸਰ ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਪਰਸਨਲ ਐਜ਼ ਏ ਸਨ ਫਾਦਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਮੈਮਰੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਟਿਲ ਯਾਦ ਹੈ?
ਉਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉਹ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੁੱਡ ਆਲਵੇਜ਼ ਬੀ ਪੰਕਚੁਅਲ। ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਿੰਦੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੈਸੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ
ਸਮੇਂ ਪਾਬੰਦ।
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ। ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਮੈਂ ਘਰ ਸੀ, ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਉਹ BBC ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਟਾਈਮ ਦਿੱਤਾ BBC ਨੂੰ, ਔਰ BBC ਬੜੀ ਟੀਮ ਸੀ, ਕੈਮਰਾਮੈਨ, ਰਿਕਾਰਡਰ, ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊਅਰ, ਕੋਈ 6-7 ਲੋਕ ਸੀ BBC ਦੇ। तो उन्होंने कहा, पापा ने कहा कि उन्होंने 6 बजे की अपॉइंटमेंट दे दो। तो 6 बजे कोई नहीं आया। 6:30 बजे घंटी बजी घर की घंटी। तो मेरे पापा ने कहा इफ़ दैट इज़ द BBC उन्होंने कहो दैट दे आर नॉट वेलकम। फिर मैंने उन्होंने कहा थानू 6 बजे अपॉइंटमेंट दी है, हम 6:30 बजे है और तुसी आ नहीं सकते। तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं, साढ़े को इतना इक्विपमेंट आया है, सब कुछ आया। तो मेरा फादर कहता है कि सॉरी यू आर नॉट वेलकम। उन्होंने वापस जाना और BBC इतनी इंपॉर्टेंट सी इत्थे मैं इत्थे सी जब कैबिनेट मीटिंग चल रही थी, पंजाब दी कैबिनेट मीटिंग चल रही, बरनाला चीफ मिनिस्टर सी और वो मार्क टली है BBC का, वो इत्थे आया सी बरनाला मिलन। तो वो इंतजार करिया 10-15 मिनट। फिर उसने क्या, फिर मैं बरनाला नू मैसेज आया कि ये मार्क टली आया BBC का। तो उन्होंने कैबिनेट मीटिंग बंद की थी और वो गया मार्क टली नू मिला BBC।
थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Where I spent 3 of my most exciting years as a journalist, and I was even the president of this club, I think, for a year or so, and helped get funding for this club, because this is, I think, Chandigarh is the only place in India where you've got 3 governments based here: Haryana, Punjab, and the UT territory of Chandigarh. So it's got the largest proportion of civil servants to the population, probably in the world, I think, straight after Blue Star. And there were only 2 English newspapers at that time. The Tribune, of course, the Venerable Tribune, which dominated, and the Indian Express, of which I was the editor here. And very exciting times. I had security, 24 hours security and all that. And legendary man Ribeiro was the police commissioner here. And a chief secretary, a Gujarati chief secretary called Vaishnav, who became a close friend, who spoke absolutely fluent Punjabi. And one of the best chief ministers that Punjab has had, Surjit Singh Barnala Festival, which began 13 years ago in Kasauli. And Kasauli, because Kasauli is where my father Khushwant Singh did much of his writing, and there's a family home there. So we had a brigadier there, a very far-sighted brigadier, Brigadier Anant Narayan, who's now a Lieutenant General actually. So Brigadier Anant Narayanan is the one who we were thinking about as the tree festival, and he's the one who encouraged us to have it, and he said have it at the Kasauli Club. So the Kasauli Club and subsequent brigadiers have been so supportive of us, and I believe that Kasauli has been put on the literary map of India, and people even outside India know of Kasauli because of the KSLF, the Khushwant Literary Festival. So we've continued, and it's the only literary festival apart from the Jaipur one which has been continuous for 13 years. So it's the only literary festival that has been. But we've always had a big problem in getting funding. And that's where I would like to introduce Sheetal. She and Vayanar, you pronounce it Vayanar? Vayanar is a big project coming up. She'll tell you more about it. But it's an eco-friendly project, housing project coming up near Kasauli. Coming up near Kasauli, and it's people like Vayanar who really keep the literary festival going, and that's why I'm so grateful to Sheetal and her team for having come in our support. But she'll tell you a little bit more about that later on. So we've had this festival for 13 years, and this year it is October 18th to the 20th, 3 days. It's a celebration of books, really, the literary festival of recent books. And we've got, I won't go through all the names of the speakers, but we've got an outstanding lot of people here who you might have heard of, who is one of the best chroniclers of Indian history. He does original research. He more or less lives in India, and I think he's the opening speaker, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, William Dalrymple. We got Manish Tiwari, who सब लोग उसको जानते होंगे. He is the newly elected member of Parliament from Chandigarh. तो वो भी आ रहे हैं. And then we got Amitabh Kant. वो भी आपने ज़रूर सुना होगा. वो थे Sherpa of the G20 that took place recently, and probably one of the most outstanding civil servants we've ever had in this country. He looks to the future, तो वो भी आ रहे हैं. And then we have Imtiaz Ali. Again, must have heard of him. He's one of the topmost directors in Bollywood. And violin player. He's just brought out a book. All these people have brought out books. The ones I mentioned: William Dalrymple, Manish Tiwari, Amitabh Kant, L. Subramaniam. Well, I don't know what. I'd like to also mention that, in the first 2 or 3 years, I think, of the Lit Fest, we had Pakistanis coming over. Mainly because my father's, one of his great passions was, despite the bitterness of partition and the communal riots, he wanted India and Pakistan to try and become closer together and become friends. So in pursuit of that, we had Pakistani intellectuals, politicians, writers coming to Kasauli Lit Fest. And they all told me what a great experience it was to come here. They said in Pakistan it would be unthinkable to have Indians coming into a cantonment, a military cantonment. Remember Kasauli, the military cantonment. And they came. Brigadier Anant Narayan organized for them to get cars at the Wagah border. They didn't even have to walk some distance. The car went to them and brought them all the way to Kasauli. So they saw the Indian countryside, were young Indian military officers, and they talked to them, and I think they went back as ambassadors for India. Of course, they were giving the Pakistan point of view, but there was an interaction which I feel we must have more of. People-to-people contact is the only way you can bring countries together. And that people-to-people contact, I'm sorry to say, has gone now. It's gone. There was a time when they opened up because of the Indo-Pak's cricket series. I think that was in 2004 or something like that. They gave visas to all Pakistanis who wanted to come. So we need more of that. And sad to say, after those first 3 years, Pakistanis were not allowed to come into Kasauli. I even wrote to Sushma Swaraj, who was then the, I think, Home Minister, please allow the Pakistanis to come here to Kasauli, because they went back as ambassadors for India. And even the generals who were retired, resilience and renewal. You know, our literary festivals have always had this, however bad things might be in the country or internationally, there's always been hope. There's always been hope, an element of hope. So resilience and renewal carry hope with them. So I think a lot of the speakers will be talking around that theme. We have the Ukraine war, the Gaza war, and now Iran getting brought in. And we have a bad situation in China on our border. So a lot of troubled times, but there's always hope and renewal. And that, I think, was my father's passion. Even in the worst of times, look for where there's hope. And then I should add one of the themes always of Kasauli, it being, and the literary festival is devoted to the Indian soldier. Indian soldier ecology, which is where Sheetal will come and say a few words. Ecology, because that whole area is very fragile. And education of the girl child. Again, a great passion of my father. Education of the girl child. Our literacy levels are going up, but the literacy level of girls is still too low. And women should be taking much more part in our workforce, which they're not doing enough here. In other developing countries, women are very much a part of the workforce. Ecology, yeah. What else do I have to say? Yeah, the other values that my father had was the values of secularism. All communities must work, live together in amity, closer ties between all communities and various religions and all. We're such a diverse country, and that, I think, is one of the beauties of this country. It's so diverse and with so many different languages and all, but there has to be unity in that diversity. Okay, I'll end now, but I'll ask Sheetal to please tell us a little bit more about one of our big supporters for the Lit Fest.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to start by saying that Vainar and me, we are very excited and very honored to be a part of the Lit Festival. I think we have a lot of things in common. Like, for example, Vainar, we basically ensure that we build homes which are sustainable, which basically I wouldn't say break, but we sort of blur the barrier between your indoors and your outdoors. Things like sunlight, greenery, everything is very important. Like KSLF, we actually do a lot of drives. We actually plant trees. We are there in making small efforts in which your ecology becomes better. Now, along with that, we are actually very organic to Goa. We have actually grown in Goa. We are not like an outside builder in Goa. We employ, on the topic of girl child, we actually employ all the local ladies from all the local villages into our apartments, our villas. So we actually are a part of Goa. We are not like the other builders. We have grown organically, and I genuinely believe that Vainar is Goan, to be very honest. We have now also come into Kasauli, which is again with the same theme, with the same sustainable living. So we basically have villas very close to Vaikunt Resort. We have also ventured into international markets, and that we've done. We have started with Sri Lanka. in a place called Hangama, which is basically known as the surface paradise. So again, with the same values and with the same thought process, and I think I would invite all of you to actually come and see, come and meet us at the Lit Festival, and also see, sort of search it to find out what we do, how we do it, and where all we are. And I think that's about it. Thank you so much.
A lot of the books in the library were donated by my
A
father.
letter which was sent to him and which was simply written, Khushwant Singh, bastard India. And he showed to everybody, look, it got to me. The postal department.
Good afternoon, everyone, and it's a pleasure to be here again, second consecutive year at the Khushwant Singh Fest.
My Jaffi was no conspiracy, it was no Rafael Dean. Good Lord.
My God, I don't make up new words like that, my dear. All I can say is it's been stimulating and attentive, it's been large, and it's been very agreeable. None of which is a new word.
चांदनी रातें प्यार की बातें खो गए जाने कहाँ
होके दो टुकड़े किसी सदगुरु की तब से बैठा हूँ मुंतज़िर
When Indians go to Pakistan, as I've been, they get such a warm welcome. When you're taking a taxi and the taxi driver realizes that, this happened to me and happened to my friends, that we were from India, no fare, they wouldn't charge anything. So that's the kind of feelings that we should encourage and have, because otherwise there's no hope. We'll continue having border wars and continue having problems at the UN and all that. So we must somehow try to get, look at Germany and the other countries they fought against in 2 world wars. They're now all okay. It's the EU, it's the European Union. So we must do the same kind of thing there. They had much more killings than we ever have. European Union is a economic and political union in many ways.
Talking about the Pakistanis cheering the Indians
As part of an Indian veterans tennis team in Lahore. And that was when the visas had been relaxed and a lot of Indians could come to watch the Indo-Pak series of matches. And I was in Lahore at what's called the Gaddafi Stadium, still named as Gaddafi Stadium because I think Gaddafi gave a lot of funds to build that stadium. And there was this India-Pakistani match going on. And one of the bowlers was Balaji. I don't know whether you remember, Balaji was one of the cricket, one of our star bowlers. And the Pakistanis would all sing Balaji Zara Dheere Chalo when he was getting up to bowl. And those Pakistanis in the audience, they cheered the Indians whenever, Imagine that. This was a new generation of young Pakistanis who had never been, been sort of scarred by the terrible partition that took place. And they were supporting Indians. Sadly, that's no longer there now. But I wish it would come back because we can't be enemies forever.
also
Bring in criminals and all that. And you have Kamala Harris, who is the daughter of an Indian mother and a father who is Jamaican, colored Jamaican. So you've got a big, I think most of us here are hoping that Kamala Harris will win. But who knows? Because Trump has also got a huge number of supporters. But you're absolutely right. It's not only in India we have this divisiveness and polarization. You have it in all over Europe and in America. And the literary festival is attempting, in a small way of course, to try to keep the communities happily together, you know, to promote the values that really जो passions हैं वो मेरे भी हैं, जैसे वो कहा था inclusiveness, promoting good relations between India and Pakistan, वो भी मेरे values हैं. मुझे अफसोस है कि मैं पाकिस्तान जा नहीं सकता, वीज़ा लेने के लिए इतना प्रॉब्लम होता है, मेरे लिए भी प्रॉब्लम होता है. तो मैं ये एक तो ये वैल्यू है, और ये भी मुझे वैल्यू है कि हिंदुस्तान में हम बहुत डाइवर्स हैं, बहुत सारे भाषा हैं और बहुत सारे धर्म हैं, और इनको सब अपने आप को अप्रिशिएट करना पड़े और जुड़ना चाहिए, बिल्कुल जुड़ना चाहिए. इट इज़ सच अ India is such a remarkable country. We must keep it that way. और डिवाइड नहीं करना चाहिए, डिविसिव नहीं होना चाहिए. तो ये भी मेरे जो मेरे फादर के पैशंस थे वो मेरे भी हैं. मैंने उनके जब इमरजेंसी हुई थी उन्होंने मिसेस गांधी को सपोर्ट किया था, मगर हमारे फैमिली में सब फादर के खिलाफ थे, कहते थे कि ये नहीं करना चाहिए. तो डिफरेंस हुई थी, तो उन्होंने मिसेस गांधी को सपोर्ट किया, इसलिए कि उनके काफ़ी उनके पड़ोसी थे. हाँ, मगर मेरे ख्याल उन्होंने उस टाइम गलत किया. और जब ब्लू स्टार हुआ उन्होंने अपना पद्मा भूषण वापस कर दिया इन प्रोटेस्ट, आपको याद होगा. मगर मेरे ख्याल 6-7 साल उसके बाद उनको पद्मा विभूषण मिला, हायर अवार्ड. तो वो जो उनके मन में था वो कहते थे विदाउट फियर. मैं आपको ये इधर वीडियो में दिखा रहे थे कि वो अपने कॉलम में सांता बंटा जोक्स लिखते थे, याद है ना? कॉलम में सांता बंटा जोक्स आते थे, विच वॉज अबाउट सरदार जी. तो एक दिन एक चिट्ठी आई, वेरी फॉर्मल लेटर फ्रॉम द SGPC, शिरोमणि गुरुद्वारा प्रबंधक कमेटी, हाईएस्ट अथॉरिटी ऑन सिक्योरिटी. उन्होंने फादर को लिखा, प्लीज स्टॉप यूजिंग योर सांता बंटा जोक्स. तो मैं घर में था उस टाइम, और जब वो चिट्ठी आई थी मेरे फादर देखने लगे, सोचने लगे, और वो हर एक जो उनको लिखता था वो पोस्ट कार्ड ज़रूर भेजते थे. मैं एक बार गया था तमिलनाडु, कोई छोटा सा पिंड में, उधर मोटर का कोई प्रॉब्लम था, और जब उनको पता लगा, किसी को पता लगा कि मैं खुशवंत सिंह का बेटा हूँ, वो अपने घर से आ गया और मुझे पोस्ट कार्ड दिखा दैट माई फादर हैड रिटन. उसने कुछ फादर को लिखा था, उसने पोस्ट कार्ड भेजा. तो ये भी जब वो SGPC की ये आया ऑर्डर कि हम आपको तनख्वाह कर लेंगे इफ़ यू डोंट स्टॉप योर सांता बंटा जोक्स, तो उसने सोचा थोड़ा, उसने पोस्ट कार्ड लिया और उधर पता क्या लिखा उनको वापस, गो टू हेल. गो टू हेल वापस भेजा, और कुछ जवाब नहीं आया उसके बाद.
He wrote go to hell to SGPC.
To the SGPC on a postcard. And then he never heard from them again. And he also, always had a sense of humor. He never took himself seriously. He felt that take themselves too seriously. So he used to make fun of himself. He once got a letter from abroad somewhere, and all that was written on that letter, it was mentioned in the video, all that was written on the letter was Khushwant Singh, bastard India. तो उसने दिखाया कि ये मुझे bastard India के, और मुझे मिल गया. The post office knows me so well that they got sent the letter to me. तो अपने ऊपर मखौल करते थे. He used to make fun of himself, which I think was one of great things. We don't make fun of ourselves. और मुझे सांता बंटा जो वो छापते थे वो सरदार जी भेजते थे उनको, sent by सरदार जी. So that was a kind of trait of his. He didn't care who was what. Indira Gandhi की emergency, he didn't care. उनको पता था कि that it's not very popular, but he still felt he wanted to support her. Or ये SGPC, he didn't care about what they said and said it gave his mind. एक बार वो कलकत्ता गए थे और उन्होंने कुछ लिखा था अपने कॉलम में that Rabindranath Tagore was not a very good poet, ऐसे कुछ लिखा था, but he was a good writer but not a good poet. उधर एयरपोर्ट पे demonstrations हो गए when he arrived there, saying how dare you criticize Rabindranath Tagore, one Nobel Prize. ऐसे हैं बहुत सारे चीज़ें बता सकता हूँ मगर टाइम नहीं है. मेरे ख्याल 3 साल वो आ सके. And Brigadier Anant Narayanan is the one who made it possible. He said, I will send cars to pick them up from the Wagah border and then come all the way. So that will give me some of the ashes from your father. And he said, I gave it to him, and then what he did was, he took the ashes back over the Wagah border to his village where my father went to school and where he lived for the first few years. उत्थे उन्होंने एक प्लाक लगाया और उनके एशेज हैं ना वो सीमेंट नाल मिल के प्लाक उत्थे दीवार पे स्कूल की दीवार पे लगाया और उत्थे लिखा हुआ है सी खुशवंत सिंह स्कॉलर एंड राइटर went to school. वो ब्लैक वो मैंने याद है कि वो उन्होंने एशेज वापस ले गया और वो ए भी किया और एक ईट किया वो कह मैं ये ईट वापस ले जाऊँगा और सरगोदा वेरी पाकिस्तान तो मैं उत्थे दीवार पे स्कूल की दीवार पे मैं ईट नाल एक ब्लैक वो आ रहा अमिताभ कांत आ रहा इम्तियाज़ अली जो है फिल्म बनाना वो भी आ गया एक देवदत्त पटनायक मैंने क्या नहीं थी यस ही इज ऑल्सो ही राइट्स ऑन हिंदू वो भी आ गया प्रदात कक्कर बिग मैन इन एडवर्टाइजिंग इन बॉम्बे ही इज ऑल्सो